The kitchen tiles were icy beneath my cheek, their chill crawling up my skin as shards of a shattered dinner plate dug into my palms. I lay completely still, forcing my heartbeat to slow, every breath measured, because one twitch, one gasp, and he'd know. My name is Amelia Grant, and this was the night I pretended to die, to expose the man who once swore he'd love me until the end of time. // Just hours earlier, I'd served my husband, Ryan Cole, the same dinner he'd planned for me, pan-seared salmon with his signature herb sauce. Except this time, I didn't eat it. I let the pieces slide into a hidden bag under the table, every muscle in my face trained to stay relaxed, to look normal. Because I knew. I knew what he'd been doing. Ryan was poisoning me. Months before, life had looked perfect from the outside. I'd just been promoted to Senior Marketing Director at Whitmore and Hayes, a leading firm in Bristol. After years of late nights, missed birthdays, and clawing my way up from an intern, I'd finally made it. The office overlooking the river, my own team, a salary that could pay off my student loans. For a girl from Canterbury, whose parents ran a tiny bookshop, it felt like proof that every sacrifice had meant something. When I called Ryan to tell him, my voice was shaking with joy. I'd imagined he'd be proud, maybe even relieved. He'd been out of work since his graphic design business folded during lockdown. I thought my win would lift us both. But when I told him, his reply came flat, almost rehearsed. "That's great, love," he said, without looking up from his phone. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe he was embarrassed, maybe he just needed time. But that night, he insisted on cooking dinner to celebrate. Salmon again. My favorite. The smell of lemon and thyme filled the flat, and for a moment, I believed everything was fine. Until, about an hour after eating, the world tilted. My vision blurred, my heartbeat stumbled, and a cold fog wrapped around my thoughts. "You're pushing too hard," Ryan murmured, helping me to the sofa. "Let me take care of you." I wanted to believe him. Of course I did. But the sickness didn't stop. Night after night, the same pattern, his dinners, my dizziness. My body turned into an untrustworthy stranger. // I blamed stress, my upcoming campaign for Carver Enterprises, a deal worth millions that could make or break my reputation. I worked 12-hour days, convinced exhaustion was the culprit. Yet, the symptoms only came when Ryan cooked. The nights I skipped dinner at the office and grabbed a sandwich instead, I felt fine. Too fine. That's when the first spark of suspicion flickered to life. I visited Dr. Patel, my GP since university, and told her everything, every dizzy spell, every lapse in memory. She listened quietly, tapping her pen against her notepad. "It's always after meals?" she asked. I nodded. "Then keep a diary. Everything you eat, how you feel, the timing." For 2 weeks, I tracked it all like a detective chasing a ghost. The results were terrifyingly clear. Whenever Ryan prepared my food, I suffered. Whenever I didn't eat his cooking, I was fine. There was no other explanation. My husband, my supposed partner, was poisoning me. Still, evidence mattered. I couldn't just run to the police with suspicions. I needed proof. So I began to test him. I'd fake exhaustion, claim I'd already eaten at work, and quietly flush his healthy dinners down the sink. The nights I did, I stayed up late finishing slides for the Carver pitch, sharp, focused, alive. But Ryan noticed. His tone changed, small barbs hidden in concern. "You barely touched your food again," he said one night, his jaw tight. "You're fading away, Amelia." I'm worried about you. His eyes lingered too long on my plate. His questions about my project grew invasive, asking about budgets, client lists, even passwords. He'd never cared before. That's when fear became certainty. The truth crystallized one rainy Sunday evening when I overheard a half conversation through the bathroom wall, his voice low, tense, whispering to someone named JT. I caught phrases like deadline, files, and payment. My stomach turned. He wasn't just trying to hurt me, he was selling me out. .. I needed a trap. The plan formed slowly, meticulously. I'd pretend to eat his dinner, collapse again, only this time, I'd be ready. My phone would record everything. The moment he revealed his hand, the moment he spoke to his accomplice, it would all be captured. That night arrived faster than I was prepared for. Ryan was in the kitchen, humming softly as he chopped herbs. His every movement precise, almost theatrical. I sat at the table, my pulse roaring in my ears. "You okay?" he asked, eyes flicking toward me. "Just exhausted," I murmured. Dinner was salmon again, the same dish that had nearly destroyed me. I took careful bites, hiding most of it in a small plastic bag under my napkin. "It's perfect," I said with a smile that felt like glass. 20 minutes later, I staged my collapse. My knees buckled, the plate shattered, and I hit the tiles hard enough to bruise. Ryan's voice turned frantic. "Amelia." "Oh, God." But then, silence. Followed by a click. A phone call. "It's me," he said, voice cold and efficient. "She's out." Took a bit, but the dose worked. "I'm grabbing the files now." My blood froze. .. He spoke of my campaign, of transferring files to a rival firm, Apex Strategies, Carver's biggest competitor. Her laptop's got everything. Presentation, budgets, client lists. She keeps it all offline, paranoid as hell. Then came laughter. A sound I'll never forget. I sent a silent text to Dr. Patel, "Emergency. He's drugging me. Call police." Another to Detective Harris, a contact of hers, audio proof. "Corporate theft. Send help." Minutes stretched into eternity. I could hear Ryan in my office, the faint hum of my laptop booting up, drawers opening, the rustle of paper. I cracked my eyes open, just enough to see him through the doorway, his silhouette glowing in the monitor light, a small vial glinting beside him. I hit record video on my phone. He muttered, "Payment confirmed. 50 grand. Grab the client list." I caught it all. Every word. Then, faintly, sirens wailed. He froze. What the? Panic replaced precision. He darted to the window, spotting flashing blue lights. I tried to crawl toward the door, but my foot caught a shard of ceramic, crunch. His head snapped toward me. "Amelia." I held my breath. He stormed into the kitchen, scanning the room. I ducked behind the island, clutching my phone like a lifeline. The sirens grew louder. A hard knock rattled the front door. "Police. Open up." Ryan spun around, curse spilling from his lips. He bolted toward the office. I sprinted, barefoot, shaking, adrenaline blazing. I yanked open the front door just as Detective Harris appeared, his badge flashing. "He's in the office." I gasped. "There's a vial, the laptop, everything." Moments later, police swarmed inside. Shouts. Footsteps. The sound of handcuffs. And then, silence. I collapsed on the front lawn as the night air hit my lungs like a baptism. I'd survived. /////. The next hours blurred together, flashing lights, evidence bags, questions. Harris laid everything out on my kitchen table. The vial, Ryan's phone, his USB drive. It's a sedative, he explained, voice low but steady. Low doses cause dizziness, memory loss. Long-term use could have done serious damage. Ryan had been on Apex's payroll for months, £4,000 a month with a £40,000 bonus for stealing my work. My husband had traded my health, my career, and our marriage, for money. When they brought him out in handcuffs, his face was pale, almost boyish again. Our eyes met through the flashing lights. He mouthed, "I'm sorry." But the words meant nothing. Dr. Patel arrived soon after, wrapping a blanket around my shoulders. "You're safe now," she whispered. "But this will take time." Time. That word lingered in my mind as I watched the police car drive away, Ryan's silhouette disappearing behind glass. I'd once thought time could heal anything. Now I knew, it could also expose what was rotten beneath. In the following days, the truth spread fast. Apex Strategies collapsed under the scandal, their executives arrested. Carver Enterprises pressed charges. The media dubbed it the Bristol poisoning plot. My inbox flooded with reporters, colleagues, even strangers telling me I was brave. But bravery wasn't what I felt. Mostly, I felt empty. Still, there was work to do. The Carver presentation, my presentation, was only 48 hours away. Everyone told me to cancel. But I couldn't. Ryan had taken enough from me already. So, 2 nights later, I locked myself in my home office. My laptop, wiped clean and reclaimed, glowed in the dark. I rebuilt the entire campaign from scratch. Slide by slide. Word by word. The room smelled faintly of antiseptic from the police cleanup, but I ignored it. I had one goal, reclaim my story. When morning came, I walked into Carver's boardroom wearing a navy suit I'd bought years earlier, a silent promise to myself that someday, I'd earn the right to wear it. My hands trembled as Mr. Coleman, my managing director, introduced me. "Miss Grant has faced significant challenges," he said carefully. "Yet she's here." Dozens of eyes turned to me. I took a breath. "This isn't just a marketing pitch," I began. "It's a story about resilience, about rebuilding after betrayal." Every slide shone. Every word landed. When I finished, the room erupted in applause. The CEO smiled. "When can we start?" he said. ////. 3 months later, Carver's rebrand launched, and exceeded every expectation. Sales soared. I was promoted to Vice President of Strategic Marketing, one of the youngest in the firm's history. The same newspapers that once printed headlines about my husband's crime now printed ones about my comeback. Ryan was sentenced to 5 years for domestic abuse and corporate espionage. The judge called his actions a chilling violation of trust. He didn't look at me when the verdict was read. Maybe he couldn't. Maybe he knew the woman standing before him was no longer the same one he'd tried to destroy. In therapy, I learned that healing isn't linear. Some days, I still wake at 2 a.m. to phantom dizziness, convinced I can taste lemon and thyme on my tongue. Other days, I stand by my window overlooking Bristol Harbour, the city lights flickering like tiny heartbeats, and I feel peace. Dr. Patel still checks in. Nova, my assistant who once warned me I was working too hard, is now my colleague, a rising star I mentor proudly. Sometimes we laugh about the chaos of that campaign, and I realize laughter is proof that pain no longer controls you. I keep one thing framed in my office, The Carver Contract. Beneath it, a small caption reads, "What they meant for harm, I turned into strength." It reminds me that survival isn't about revenge, it's about reclaiming your power. And if anyone ever doubts you, remember, your silence is never their victory. // Thank you for listening to my story. It means the world to share it with you. If it moved you, please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. It helps me keep telling stories like this one. Stay strong and I'll see you in the next one.